Track is ready.
And welcome everyone. We are at the circuit of Barcelona this week with our ACC race. We are 14 rounds into the season, and today definitely we have a lot of people on the grid. I am informed that there will be around 20 people on the grid today. Me, No More Pro Player, will be taking you through this grid and the action that unpacks on this track today night. Here at IRC. Without delaying, let's just have a look at the standings, because I'm pretty sure that our rookie champion has taken off the championship. We are left with only one or two races in this season, but right now as it stands, Prakhar is around 94 points clear of Anirudh, who is not, unfortunately, not racing today because of his exams. But yeah, definitely that will help him. He has anyways won this championship, and we can call him the champion of ACC Season 2 League here, but he is definitely racing with us today as well. We have Kapil, who is currently in P3 in the Bentley with 102 points, the same point as Anirudh, and Kapil will look to strengthen his lead over Anirudh today since he is not racing. But yeah, definitely we will see a battle go till the end of this season and till the last race on of this calendar itself. Followed by Kapil in P4, we have Jackster, who has had a couple of unfortunate incidents in the past races, but is definitely trying to come back up in the pack, and we expect nothing less from him. I was mistaken. There is only just one race left after today's race in this season, and that is Silverstone. So we are well within into the round. We are currently in round 14, and 15 races have been planned for this season. We have Ghost, who is in P5, who has been a no-show for the past couple of races, not helping him in the championship points. KC66 trying to creep up his way into the top 5, and we have Super Bowl 4 in P7, and Abhi2 Speed in P8, and the Real SD in P9. And the top 10 is rounded off by Ankit, who showed a really good performance in the last race. But yeah, he had to do a pit stop towards the end because of low fuel, but he was expected to finish in a good position even in the last race. Currently the drivers are in a practice session. We will go to that practice session. We are at the Knights at Barcelona circuit. Let's just hop onto the game and see what times our drivers have put during their practice session. Let me just get up the audio so that you can hear the sweet sound of these GT3 GT4 cars. Okay, I am not getting an option to not drive. Hopefully if I press drive it does not. Yep, it does not send me to. Okay, so let's just have a look at the timing sheets. We have Masoom, who is back after his no show in the last race, but he is back here and he is currently sitting on pole with 143.4. We have 18 people in the session right now. We will be soon going to the quali session in few minutes, but yeah, we have Masoom sitting at pole with 1 minute 43 seconds, and the lobby leader decided to forward to the next session. Thanks very much for that, but I could not see the timings of other people, but hopefully we will see everyone's time as we are in the quali session. All the sandbags will be coming off from the practice session in this session, and we should see some blazing fast times set by our drivers here on the circuit of Barcelona. We are back in the day session where the session was supposed to be. The timing of the session has been all fixed up now. Let's just hop on board with the first couple of people who have started to go out. Meanwhile, I still cannot hear the game for some reason. Let me just figure that one out. Yep, I was a stupid guy to not confirm it, but yep, now we can. We should be able to hear the sound. Oh my god, that's loud. Okay, heading towards, so we have a lot of people who have come out on the track. We have V Sharma on the track, we have Sunil Shah on the track, we have Ghosh on the track, we have Deepak on the track, we have Dwajin on the track, we have Aladdin on the track. So almost half the grid is on the track. We are not able to see everyone in the timing sheet on the left side, but I will definitely change it to interval so that we can see what kind of times people are putting in. So almost half the grid seems to be out on the track, going out early, trying to set as many laps as possible and hoping that they get the fastest lap in one of those laps, the one lap in which makes them happy, which makes them feel good about themselves. Hopefully they will get it without invalidating their laps. But we do have a lot of new liveries that are also coming in. So if I'm not wrong, there is a person named Quantum in our server who was asking his livery to be shown, but unfortunately I'm not sure what his name in the game is.
Name is Ghosh. That's car number 407, the Mercedes.
Okay, so that is a Ghosh. So let's just have a look at his livery. I am trying to use the controls for F1 game, which does not work here. But yeah, let's just have a look at the livery. He has gone with the dark blue livery. Okay, I am joined by Anirudh as well as Shalalak in the commentary, who will be helping me probably for at least some time. But yeah, what do you guys expect for today's race?
We have a lot of new people. It's pretty exciting because new people is new racing. So let's see what happens. I think at least half the grid today, or 40% of the grid today is new. So that's something new to look out for. And I think it's a big precursor to what's up for the next season, which is probably we have just one race left in the season. It's a big, display of what is possible with the coming season. And I think the livery game is also becoming popular now. People are taking advantage of the fact that they can run their own custom liveries. So it's pretty exciting. As far as the racing goes, I'm not really going to give any spoilers because I myself don't know what's going to happen. But let's just wait and see what happens. It's already looking very feisty between the Mercedes and the Ferrari right now.
Yep, they are already racing in the quali session itself, and the Ferrari taking both of them out from their lap. So that's a good strategic move there to invalidate yours as well as your opponent's lap. But Quantum will not be happy because it was supposed to be the duty of the driver behind to leave enough space before he starts the quali lap.
Well, that's true. So let's probably see. I think it would be pretty premature to make any sort of conclusion now. And as I see, I believe you have not loaded Masoom's livery on your PC, so it's going to be pretty wild. But
I did copy all the livery that was there on the drive, so I'm not sure. Maybe Masoom forgot to upload his latest livery.
Or maybe that's just Masoom's livery. Who knows?
Maybe. But yeah, there are a couple of numbers on the side, but it's just black. I don't think so that will be Masoom's livery. But Masoom about to start his flying lap, giving all the space he could between the car himself and the car in front. Why don't you take us through his lap?
Yeah, so you approach turn 1, brake around at 100 meters as straight as you can. Try not to clip the curb on the right, but he does go on it, and try to take the next one as shallow as possible. Into turn 3, you want to aim so that you start turning in between the two bollards, and you see the orange bollard on your left. And after this point, you just want to be completely on throttle. The car does tend to understeer, but you know where the car lies. Turn 4, again, it's to be as steady as possible. You don't want to get on the throttle very early. You don't want to step the rear of the car out. Use as much track on the left and then be ready for turn 5. Stick it as close to the left apex as possible and then straighten out as fast as possible to turn 6. The next turn 7 is practically flat out again on these cars. Turn 8 is tricky. There's probably a very few lines that you can take through it. You don't want to take too much of the curb on either side because you either risk invalidation or losing stability. This is a sweeping right-hander that comes in, and again, it's pretty deceiving. You do feel like coming off the throttle a bit, but as long as you know where the car is, you're going to stick to it. This is probably the part of the track where we can see some action for overtaking. It is into the braking zone, and the next two turns are again very tricky. Questions the stability of the car a lot. You want to again stick as close to the right as possible, straighten out for the next series of turns, and these last few turns is very critical in getting a good run into the main straight. So you want to take in as much on the left, shallow on the right, so power in early. Probably Masoom would be looking to improve that particular set of turns in his next flying lap. Then that is a lap of Barcelona.
Yep, that was a good coverage, and Masoom does set a fastest time of the session currently with a 1:44.4, but we do know from the practice session that he is capable of doing a 1:43, so we might see some improvement later on in this session as he parks to go back into the pits. Is T. Agarwal Tanish?
That's him. Tarish Agarwal is T. Agarwal in the game. Typically, I think all the drivers have kept their last names. I think the game just shows the last name and initializes the first name, so a bit of confusion there. But then it's sort of a bit more professional.
Yeah, actually.
So, yeah. So I can see that Uday is running the Dinoco livery. I've seen that livery somewhere else. I'm just wondering whether he got it from the same place or just made it up on his own again.
So Sindhu not having the best of his race in the previous track, it started off pretty well if I'm not wrong, but fell back in the field because of some incidents, but then again did a good job to come back, and I think he finished around P5 to P7 around that area.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as the moment goes right now, we can see that it's pretty close between the top 5, I guess. I would say P2 to P6. All of them have time to improve. The track, I guess. Oh, and he makes an error, so he will be looking to get back. So as I say that, Shah goes fastest with a gap of 400s, but I do expect that the pole time today can touch a 142.8. So just waiting for drivers to get in. We still have 7 minutes in quali left, and as I say that, Masoom is getting ready for his next series of hot laps.
Yeah, that is true. You were talking about this final sector that that Masoom is about to come into. Like I saw huge sausage curves, especially on the turn that we are about to approach. So, do the drivers tend to take it or completely avoid it? Because that looks massive.
No,
there.
you have to. I mean, I think this particular set of curbs, even the Bentleys would want to avoid. So you just don't want to take it. And the sausage curb, the thing is that the cars like the Ferrari and the Audi running the ride heights that they do in Barcelona, getting trapped. If you remember, as he was coming out of the corner, there was this long yellow sausage curb on the left side.
Yep,
you do end up getting trapped on it. So in fact, we have to increase the ride height of the car specifically so that you don't get trapped on it. In quali, you can probably run a lower ride height, but in the race, you just don't risk it. So I think Barcelona is one of the few tracks where even experienced drivers tend to have significantly different ride heights during the race as well as quali, just because of they want to avoid riding those sausage curbs, especially if they're trying to overtake someone.
Yeah, definitely. We do have a lot more people who are setting in their times. Masoom trying to flash his way ahead of the guy who is in front of him, but if he does not seem to be on his lap, but not sure who he was though. We see a lot of drivers yet to start their hot lap. They are just now on their out lap. Tanish Agarwal seems to be on his hot lap, if I'm not wrong.
He does. I think if we...
Never mind, I just jinxed him. So he has gone off the track on to turn 4, if I'm not wrong. Is that turn 4? Yep, that is turn 4. And a lot of cars are going past him. Hopefully he does not impede the other cars, as we say that he is going on the inside of another car.
Yeah,
and
I think it's just opposite day today.
Yeah. So we should stop making predictions and saying things about people, but it seems like he is trying to go as quick as possible to start another lap. If I'm maybe have time for 2 more laps, but yeah,
I think so. I think the cars. So the thing is that cars who are still in the pit lane right now will have time only for 1 more lap. The cars who are on track right now will have time for 3 more laps.
Yep, so Thakur running a red livery. That's too much of an eye candy right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He will be a
So
easy spot target on the track, but yeah, he has not yet set a time. I am pretty sure this is not his hot lap. Yep, he decides to park it on the outside because probably he was not
actually
improving.
talking about that, I'm not sure that Thakur is a guy. I think that's a girl.
Okay, my bad.
So let's see.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, it's sort of good to see different people, a lot of people, new people coming in, and this is really exciting because I believe we can potentially see a grid of 30 or 40 cars next season. Hopefully, if we do organize everything properly.
Yep. The more the
Yep.
merrier always. And as she starts her flying lap, hopefully she will be able to put a time on the board here at Barcelona going through turn 1. Taking the corners a bit cautiously because as we saw on Masoom's POV, he was trying to bound the curve on the first and the second, but Thakur completely missing those curbs. Going into turn 4, trying to not understeer on this corner as well as not lose the rear of the car there. Takes it pretty nicely going into turn 5, braking nicely and turning in. Seems like she's doing pretty good and should be able to set up a time. Don't want to jinx her right now, but yeah, even here I have seen drivers take a shallow line. Why don't the drivers go wide and then turn in? Like, is there
Well,
something?
I believe that this is her first lap out, so I think she's setting a banker lap of sorts because you can see that the gaps on the delta are massive. So if she can slot in between P1 to P15 somewhere with a valid lap, then you do have that mental confidence of risking it. And as I said, like those particular turns in Barcelona, they really sort of question your stability because it heavily depends on how much curb you take and what's the line there. As you get faster into those turns, the effective track becomes so thin that you really have to be on the rails while taking those turns. So it's probably pretty important that you sort of know exactly how you're going to take that turn in. Either the two things happen in those two set of turns. Either the rear steps out, or you start sliding over the sausage curb and understeer right after the track.
Yep. So she does put in the time, but I think it was invalidated somewhere along the lap. So probably she has time for one more lap. Hopefully she sets a time.
Yep. She probably will have time for 2 more if she has enough fuel on board. I think probably the only sad part about ACC is that we are not able to see the amount of fuel that the cars are running. All of them just say 20, and this sort of the discussion can be so much more better if we actually knew how much fuel each car was running. Because I've whenever I hot lap or set a quali lap in ECC, I usually just run with like 20 liters of fuel because I'm probably one of the drivers who needs a lap or two to get consistent on the track. So unlike a driver like Masoom who goes out on track with like just the exact amount of fuel for 2 laps, one for the out lap and one for the actual hot lap, like I'm not as skilled as he is because he potentially can set faster times on a better tire just because he's literally giving it all in that one single lap. And this is the case with a lot of drivers. So
Yeah,
probably
actually,
knowing what fuel are
I actually agree
it
with
would be
you.
really
Even
useful.
I do the same thing in F1, so I also need a couple of laps to get used to the track, especially if I have not practiced and I would just be spinning out. But yeah, I do go for that. As A Kumar is coming on the rear of Thakur's car, A Kumar won't be happy because this might.
Oh no, so she gives way for him.
Yep,
I think that
that's.
is, and he screws up by
Yep.
doing over. So that's a tragedy. So can we go on board with Thakur? I'm pretty sure either she's gone back to the pits or okay, yeah, she's
Yeah.
gone back to the pits. So who else? I think A Kalra has not set a lap at all. Is he
I
still in the pit?
Yes, I think he joined a bit late in this session.
I think you can play use shift and left and right arrow keys
Yeah.
to navigate.
That's what I was doing, but the thing with this. Okay, we are back at it. Sorry for the minor interruption. I had a power cut, but nevertheless we
Where's the
are.
video?
We are definitely back. 1 second, I will get the video for our streamers as well, so that they can also join in the action. I will join the lobby as well. Okay, so I am hearing myself again.
Yeah.
I think Anirudh, you were watching my stream. I personally, I don't like to hear my voice again when I rewatch the stream. What about you,
Well, I
Anirudh?
don't. I don't think so because like the thing is with these headsets, something that I've got a lot from people is that when I talk to them in real life and through a headset, my voice is very different. Like, so this is something that I've been combating with. But I'm pretty sure if you do meet me in real life, you'll be like, who the hell is this guy?
Okay, so we do see everyone lined up, all the 20 cars lined up on the grid trying to do their setup before the race. We do see that Masoom did qualify up in pole position, followed by Akhil, and in P3 we have, I'm not sure who he is with his livery. Can I not see timing charts?
You should be able to see the
Yes,
HUD.
yes, now it's coming. So let me just have a look at the HUD. Yes,
Yeah,
so
just let's have a look at the table directly. We still have 1 minute 25 seconds.
yep, let's
So
just have a look at the table itself. So we have Masoom, who qualified in the Ferrari 488 GT3, followed by Akbar Kumar. Is that Akbar Kumar or Akhil Kumar?
that's Akbar Kumar.
Okay, so we have Akbar Kumar in P2 with in the same car. We have Shah in P3 in
That's
his
I think
Mercedes.
that's Sohil. Sorry, that's Shah.
So
Yep.
Shohil Shah only, I think, if
I,
I'm
no,
not.
I don't know because
But he is rocking that purple livery on his car, as we see his car on the track. We do have P4 G Aurora, Tanish finishing up in P5, Kaushik Tumala P6. Not a big of a talker, but let's see how much he can prove it on this track here at Barcelona. We do have Patnaik in P7 and Aladdin P8. Aladdin, surprising, like a really good, qualifying from him. Like I have not seen him this ahead in a race.
let's see. Because with Aladdin, it's always been that he just pull a surprise out of his pocket somewhere, and does show up in unexpected places. I think that's his trademark. So let's see. Then we have Deepak in
Yep.
P9 on the V8 Vantage. We have
Yes.
V Sharma running the McLaren. We have Sidhu in the Ferrari in P11. We have Samad Habib, which is surprising. Again, a good qualifying session from him. We have Sarthak Ray, also known as Ninja, and we see that the cars have started out. Can we go? Can we stay in this camera because this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
probably the best camera for all incidents.
Yep. In the first run, we will have a look at all the incidents. I will stay in P4 or
And
P5.
people are getting very messy. People are going into each other, ghosting. It's something that you don't want to do. You don't want to get desperate. You don't want to be too close to the guy in behind because there's a lot of inertia with these cars, and you can't just slow down immediately.
That
So you want a gap, and
I
it's
feel
probably
like,
messy.
yeah, I feel like now the drivers have sorted themselves out, and
Yep, they have.
we have the green light. Uh, who is that one who got a really good start in P7, if I'm not wrong? But he is trying to bang wheels with two cars, one on the left and one on the right. Going into turn one, we do have three wide behind. Hopefully, they make it two wide or a single file by the end of turn two. But Masoom is leading the pack. Currently, it seems like Shah has gotten up the position on.
Yeah, let's go on board with Shah, and let's see what's he up to.
So currently, it seems like he's in a battle. A lot of people are in a battle. Let's just stay in this camera for some time
Oh
because
yeah,
maybe
yep, yep,
some
sure.
incidents might come up ahead. But we do see Akbar Kumar falling down the pack, and we do have a
Oh,
lot of cars behind trying to stop their car, but unfortunately missing their
oh
end.
no, there we have a spinning Mercedes of Samad. Is that who was that?
I
No,
think
that was a Ferrari, I think.
We probably
we,
have to go.
yeah, we will
We
have a
already
look
have.
at the replay after the first lap battle has settled up. But right now, Habib is currently trying to defend his position from Kapil Bharat, who is trying to go on the inside and will get the move done. coming into this corner. A lot of other cars as well behind him, trying to go too wide into corners, and it's a real jostling for position on the track going on right now.
Oh yeah, this has been quite the exciting first lap. Not a lot of incidents, but then cars going absolutely close to each other, not giving each other, just giving each other enough room to exist but not to race. And we already see that Electric has a drive-through. I'm not sure if he's going to come into the pits.
I think he got the incorrect start position.
Yep. Up ahead, the battle has seemed to quieten down with Masoom just pulling up ahead, followed by Shah, who got a really good start and is now
Can we
in
know
P2.
what? Yeah, that's Sohail Shah.
Yes.
In P2. And looks like 3, 4, and 5 have some battling coming up soon.
Yep, let's see what they can pull up ahead. But yeah, Kumar not having the best of the starts in the beginning of the race. He has fallen down 3 positions from P2. If I'm not wrong, he qualified P2 and now he is in P4. But he will be looking for a comeback drive. G. Arora ahead of him, who had another brilliant start of this race. But right now, the cars seem to have formed a single file after the first lap excitement. The excitement will die down a bit, but definitely the cars are lining up for their moves.
So speaking about the guy behind Akbar Kumar, Tanish, I think this is his first race in the IRC league, right?
Yep, this is his first race in this league and he is in a pretty good position. He did qualify P5 and is staying P5 till now, but let's see what he can pull out of his sleeve towards the end of the race.
Let's just not jinx him.
Yeah, for sure. Is that Akbar Kumar or am I again saying? Yeah, Akbar Kumar trying to, find a gap where it does not exist on G. Arora. G. Arora placing his car really perfectly, not to give any way to Akbar Kumar to make a move anywhere possible. Going into the main straight, slipstream not helping that much for Akbar Kumar. Arora already going for the defensive line on the inside, but still has to stay behind, and all this has helped. Is that Kapil Bharat who has made a move on him? No, that's Tanish. Tanish has made a move on Akbar Kumar. So Akbar Kumar, instead of making a move, has fallen down a position. Currently, he seems to be getting hunted by Kapil Bharat, who is behind him right now. The battle from P3 to P6 really spicing up in the initial stages. Meanwhile, P1, Masoom just flying off in the distance and Shah doing the same from this pack. But all this battle helping the people like Patnaik, Habib to catch up to this pack and get into the action of their own. We do see Tanish Agarwal trying to make a move on G. Arora, but again, G. Arora defending for his life.
That's big contact.
Yep, was not that helpful. Akbar Kumar not being really patient there and going into the rear of Tanish and probably causing a damage to both of their cars.
We go on the TV cameras just to see the damage.
Oh yeah, I think the side of the car has some damage.
Yep.
I think he will make an early pit stop.
I want to see in the straight line whether. Yeah, let's see in the straight line.
I think it does not seem too bad. I hope that he can carry on with the race, but we do already have a lot of people who are being lapped currently. I'm not sure how, but yeah, we are 2 laps into the race and a lot of people have been lapped. Probably they had to do their drive-through in electric case, and others have pitted, if I'm not wrong. But we do have a battle up ahead as well between Electrip, who is a back marker and trying to give way to the leading pack. Hopefully it does not impede the pack in front of him.
I think P8 and 9 are really close to each other.
Well, I don't know whether I should be saying this, but Electrip's livery looks like an advertisement board. It just has so many things on it.
To be honest, I am.
You see the Sky Sports Ferrari,
Yes,
that is also
that's also a pretty much good sportsman.
I mean, the Sky Sports Ferrari actually looks good. I mean, it looks sort of integrated and balanced, but then, yeah, I am probably planning to put up a banner on Electric's car for the next race, advertise myself.
So probably he should open up, like a service to charge drivers for
Yeah,
advertising
you're
themselves
going on the
good money.
highway, and then you see these banners. You want to advertise, contact this number. You can probably paste that on the rear wing of his car.
Yep. We should make a livery like that for Electrip. I think Electrip himself will be happy to make it for himself. But we do have a train forming from P7 all the way up to P11, if I'm not wrong. Yep, P12 in fact. So a big train. Hopefully no one tries to do something which they are
No
not
one tries
supposed to do.
Derail
Yep, that's a good use of words there. Derail the train. But we do have a car in the pits. That's of driver number 2, Akbar Kumar. Not sure
Oh
why.
yeah, I think he picked up some damage. I think he would have wanted to box early because you then reduce the number of laps you're running with the damaged car, possibly save a few seconds. So I think there may be a few incidents to check out post race, but then let's see. The racing does look good. It's more importantly we are seeing groups of people battling it out with each other rather than just spreading out.
So
I mean, yeah, you do have aliens like Masoom here. He just keeps going on and on. But I think this is the more exciting part of the race.
Oh, and
Sky
Aditya.
Sports Ferrari is gone
Yep,
into the
Aditya
wall.
Kalra has gone into the wall. But we did see a move by Sharma on Dwajin on the exit of turn 3. So definitely Sharma is also looking really racy in this race. He is already hunting the car up ahead, Habib, and he is going side by side with Habib on the corner where you should not go side by side in my opinion. But they do make it without a big collision, and he is ahead of Habib also now. So he's looking really racy.
And Habib tries to get it back, but
playing
it into.
So that's a bit of bumper car action, but they are still side by side. A bit more bumper car action, but Sharma not yielding his position, and because of that bumper car action, Dwajin has got his position on Habib. So moral of the story: let's not have some bumper cars, and let's just try to overtake without having to do with bumper cars.
Sharma just telling Habib to stay in his lane.
We did see someone pit. I am not sure who that is. Oh, that
Can
is
we go
Habib.
back to Dwajin and see how exactly he spun out? It looked really sudden. I don't even know if there was contact. Can we probably have a look at the replay?
Of Dwajin, or was it Aditya
The
Kalra?
Sky Sports car.
That was Aditya Kalra, so we'll have a look at his car.
Because it sort of looked like he just snapped out. I think it's probably the last but one lap right now, post lap 6.
Yeah, let me just go to his car, which I am not sure which one is his.
No, this is not the one. You can just toggle the HUD and then directly press whichever his car is.
How to do that?
There's a HUD toggle button at the top bottom.
Yes.
Yeah, just click that and now click his name
Yes,
there. Yep.
got it. Okay, I think he has already had his spin because he was in a battle.
Oh, okay, so he clipped the grass.
Yep, he did clip the grass and that just sent him flying. No contact from behind cars, but yeah. Unfortunate
It
for...
sort of looked majestic from that view, car just going sideways and then you have these 3 cars coming in.
Yeah.
So it looked really cool, but then, that's going to set him back a bit because he had head-on collision with the barrier. Probably a minute or 2 of repair, which probably is going to send him a lap back.
Yeah, for sure. Right now it seems like Mashum and Sa are having a rollery race, but not Kapil Bharat and Patnaik, who are trying to have some kind of a battle here. Kapil trying to defend from Patnaik at this moment, both going side by side into turn 1. Let's see if they can come out alive without any bumper car action. Kapil giving enough space to Patnaik, who is trying...
It looked like Patnaik didn't press enough, he sort of backed out. They were close next to each other, they knew both of them were there, but I think Patnaik sort of backed out into the turn 1.
It also seemed like maybe Patnaik was going for a switchback or a cutback line. on
Yeah.
Kapil, but at the end of the
Couple
day,
goes wide.
really wide, covering a longer distance on the track as well as not able to get on throttle early, but Patnaik could not capitalize on that. So this battle will keep on going for another lap.
Yep. And the helicam view just captures the right angles and movements. So
You know,
it allows us to
honestly,
just commentate.
this is my favorite angle to just capture any side-by-side action. But if you just want glamour shots, then obviously the broadcast cam it's there.
Yeah, I think we're not here for the glamour, right? We're just here to tell our viewers and audience what exactly is going on track and what should they be looking out for in the best angle possible. And I think this does it. This is more than enough.
Yep, that is definitely true. We do have another battle spicing up behind, but we will just have a eye on this battle because this might get over by this end of this straight if Patnaik can keep his lines clean and get a good exit out of the final corner, which it seems that he has got.
Yep. So it's run down at turn one. Let's see if we can close that up.
I am
Probably not close as close
Yeah.
this time around.
He is a bit more far off, and the slipstream is not that powerful enough to get him into the rear of Kapil. But yeah, we will keep an eye later on. Let's just head back on the back of the field. We saw Sidhu's car parked on the track, not sure why, but yeah, he is moving now. We do have another battle that was spicing out before between Sharma and Dwaji. They were around a second, less than a second, within a second distance of each other, but the gap seems to have increased right now behind as well. We do see the cars spacing themselves out. Thakur she has moved up to P12 after starting P19, if I'm not wrong, having not being able to set the time.
Yeah, good race from her because I sort of see that A. Ghosh and a few others yet to have to pit. So you can look at a finish of P15 if there are no incidents. But so far so good, especially when it's your first league race. Less excitement the better, less variability the better. So you just want to finish consistently and be happy with your pace and your race overall.
Yep, so we did miss that Tanish Agarwal also has completed his pit stop and is running P17 at the moment. Probably he had a bit more damage than what we expected from his shunt from behind by Akbar Kumar. So wise decision by him. Definitely the cars up ahead still have to pit, so we'll see if he can make up a couple of positions towards the end of the race. But right now Masoom is just flying. He is 7 seconds ahead of the Shah, who is in P2. So and in turn Shah is also flying with 7 seconds gap from Aurora. So right now P1, 2 have flown off in the distance. Kapil Bharat and Patnaik are inseparable for this race. Patnaik again back at it.
Can we go to the bonnet cam of Patnaik? Because I think that's the only big battle going on right now. Yeah, the bonnet cam, let's just say that.
Yes.
Probably the next cam, we'll monitor the race.
This one?
Yeah. Give the best view of how close these cars get.
Yep. There is one more view in which you can watch the car behind from Kapil's spoiler, but
yeah, let's go there.
This one, yep. But then that blocks kind of his car from the view.
But Bentley being Bentley, basically.
Yeah. Let's just head back to Patnaik himself and have a look. But yeah, one thing I have noticed, Kapil Bharat, again he took a very wide line into turn 4 and Patnaik again taking a very shallow line from turn 4. So is it on the drivers, experimenting different lines, or drivers doing mistakes?
No, he's trying to, place that big rear of the Bentley in the correct place. Trying to prevent Patnaik from, getting on power as much as he would want to. But on this occasion, it looks like Patnaik can get close back again. Let's see, how it pans out. If you can literally stay exactly behind these cars, you do get the suck to talk about.
Yep.
And you can see he's closing in. Does he make the move right now? Opens up, comes out of it a bit early, side by side, and then brakes early again. So this is what I was talking about. it doesn't give him the opportunity of a cutback. But from his perspective, there's still 45 minutes of racing left, and what's the point in risking everything right now? Especially when you're running P4.
That is very much true. If I was also in his place, I would. If the car ahead is not like way slower than my pace, I would just stick behind and.
It does look like Kapil is slower than Patnaik, because just remember that Kapil is placing his car in such a way that Patnaik does not get on his power early, does not have the ideal line, but even then he's just right in the back of Kapil. So he just goes to imagine what his pace is going to be when he actually gets past out of Kapil. And as you say that, you can see that big afterfire coming off from the Bentley up ahead.
Yep, the afterfire really looks really good. But what I have noticed is these two people are slightly catching Aurora, not a lot, like probably a 10th per lap, but if they continue doing this, then like it's helpful for Patnaik as well, right?
Yeah, even more reason for Patnaik to just blast past Kapil right now, because if he can catch up to, if they are making up pace to Aurora, then imagine what he can do in free air basically.
That is very much true. So the only place where he can make a move being safe is on the start finish straight, and to complete that move he has to send it on the inside into turn 1, which he is not doing from the past 2 laps. He does go side by side with Kapil and then backs out. So let's look at some other battles, and hopefully these two people, as we say that Kapil gets a very bad exit out of turn 1, runs a bit wide onto turn 2, but Patnaik could not capitalize on that because he had the big rear of Bentley right in front of him, and he had no place to go.
So you can see that now Kapil moves a bit wide, trying to take the place, because he wants to take the inside for the next corner. But then Patnaik slows down, Kapil gets a confidence that he's not coming back, goes back outside and switches back to the inside.
Yeah, so this is just...
I think Patnaik is a good enough driver to start putting a bit more pressure on him. I think, if he does that, it's probably going to be worse for Kapil, because he's going to make a lot more mistakes there. Right now, I think Kapil is getting used to the fact that Patnaik is not going to try anything even borderline risky with him, not trying to push him out of his line or make him take another line which requires him to defend his corner. But the problem is, when the driver ahead gets used to the way you drive, you don't have any surprises in your back, and that's when you start off, become completely stale with the driver ahead of you.
That is very much true. You have to be unpredictable in your moves, and once the driver ahead learns what you are doing, then that's a pretty much stalemate there. But Aladdin has seemed to have picked up a drive-through. I'm not sure why, maybe cutting the track a lot, but he has got a drive-through at the moment, which he will have to serve in the next couple of laps. Sidhu is catching up to Sarthak Ray. The gap is slightly over 1 second. Behind him, Sharma is also catching to this pack. Just
and
2
Electric
seconds.
has another drive-through.
Oh man, it's not going really good for him, like whenever he's pitting, it's just to serve his drive-through and not to do a pit stop.
The thing is that the pit stops themselves are very expensive altogether, even in terms of time. And you just don't want to go into, if anything, you want to be 5 kilometers an hour slower than the pit limiter than be a kilometer an hour faster. And pro drivers definitely disagree because time is everything, but then it's just not worth it. In a 60-minute race, spending another 45 seconds to a minute serving your drive through,
that is
going to set you back.
You are pretty much gonna end up towards the back of the field if you have to serve a drive-through on an addition to your pit stop. So definitely not the best of the strategy. Yes, you should play it safe, keep it go a bit slower than the prescribed pit speed.
Did Mathur come out in P11?
Yep, he did come out in P11 after
what
his
happened
pit stop.
there?
He did do his pit stop, and I think he just came out in P11.
That's pretty strange, because looking by the time that was there between the cars, I would have expected him to come out in P5 or 6. So I think it's probably critical that we look at where Sohail Shah comes out, just to eliminate the possibility that something wrong happened with the pits for Masoom.
So right now it seems like Shoaib Shah is around 26, around 26, 36, around 40, 45 seconds ahead of Masoom. So how long does the pit stop take? Like, doesn't it take around 50, 55 seconds?
It takes much more than that.
Yeah, so I think it
But
was all fine, and Masoom just had a normal pit stop because Shohil
okay,
Shah
let's see.
seems to be around 40 seconds ahead of him at the
45 seconds. Yeah.
yeah.
So where is Patnaik and Bharat right now?
Well,
Oh,
going side by
correct
side
time.
finally. So this
Well,
time
so
Patnaik tries to go on the outside, but falls back, and Kapil takes the outside line, which again converts to the inside line for the next corner, and Patnaik is again sent back. So Patnaik will be really frustrated at this point. From the past 4 laps, he is trying to make a move. He did go side by side, but did not turn up. He is trying different moves, I might add. Like, he is trying to look on the inside there for that corner as well. So he is
I
not
think I
holding back.
think I think this sort of racing that's happening between Kapil Bharat in the Bentley and Patnaik in the Aston Martin just reminds me of this one thing that I read somewhere. It says chess is the game for sharp minds, but then racing is the chess for fast minds. So I think it just goes to show that, because these guys have been battling it out, not making sure they're at each other's tails, and I think Patnaik is slowly getting the confidence of making a move soon. Couple is sort of anticipating that. So you just have to imagine, even if it's sim racing, what the drivers are going through right now. You want to manage pace, you want to get faster, you want to get closer to the car ahead of you, you want to shake the car off that's behind you as fast as you can. And this game of chess is probably going to go on, and the longer it goes, better for us.
That is true, but one bad news that Patnaik will have is that Aurora is only within a second of Bharat as well. So now it
Yeah.
will become really difficult for Patnaik to make a move, because now there are 2 cars ahead of him whom he has to think about. So
Well, I think there is another possibility that Patnaik does put in a bit more grey matter and sort of capitalize on the fact that now Kapil has to try to overtake the Aston Martin in front, and sort of place himself in such a way that any mistake from Kapil helps him out.
yeah, for sure. Like, it seems like Patnaik is catching to Kapil, especially in the after the rundown after turn 3, because he seems to be really close to him on the exit of turn 4. But then he just falls off in the last sector and does not get the exit that Kapil Bharat gets from the last chicane.
Well, that's because Kapil is really dominating that part of the track, and it's still fair play for the driver ahead of you to slow down a bit more than they want to get a better exit. And now that affects you, because you cannot take the line that you would want to, or you cannot be inside the other car when he slows down at that point. So the Kapil is just playing it brilliantly, and he does know there's a pace deficit between himself and Patnaik. There was no other way in which Patnaik can just stick to the rear of his ass so long.
Yeah, that is very much true. But he also knows that there is a pace difference between himself and Aurora, who is about to get
Can we
overtaken
go
by
on the
Kapil.
bonnet cam of Patnaik? Because I think that would be the best view that we can get right now.
Patnaik also trying to send it on the inside of
Exactly.
Kapil.
This is what I was talking about. And he gets 2 moves done. Do they make contact? Oh yeah,
Yes.
Aurora's off.
Basically, that corner is simply not for 3 wide cars.
Yeah, but that was an incredible view. That's what I was talking about. Whether Patnaik can capitalize on the fact that now Kapil has to overtake the car in front of him, and then place himself in such a way that he just gets both cars at the same time.
Yeah, as we say that, Patnaik gets off shape on the exit of turn 4, and it seems like Kapil Bharat might take the position, but he does have the inside line. Breaks a bit late. Kapil takes the cutback line, the switchback line, and they are still side by side coming into turn 6. Still side by side, but Patnaik has to yield because Kapil has the inside line, and all that effort Patnaik just put in to overtake Kapil has been undone, and he has to again do
Yeah,
it.
definitely. Yep. This battle of chess just keeps getting interesting.
But definitely the person who won't be happy from this battle of chess is this man right there, Aurora, who
Yep.
was in a sandwich of 2 cars. going into turn 1 and did not end up really good for him. Was on the sent to the side of the track, but still he is in P4. If he can, if he does not have a lot of damage, which I cannot tell. Can you tell if he has a lot of damage?
I don't think he has damage, because I think that was just contact just threw him off. There was no real impact from either car, so he's good to go. At this point, I think he would want to just pit in, run in free air, and sort of allow them to keep battling and losing time with each other. But let's see, because Gaurav has had a good race so far. Even if it did go through an incident, there was a lot of good racing. That's probably an incident that can be investigated later. Whether any specific driver did make a mistake that led him to being, losing control of his car. But then, so far, excellent racing, and these things are bound to happen when you have 3 big GT3 cars going into the same corner.
And I think Patnaik has had enough of Kapil, taking the outside line. He is like, I will just go on the throttle early and try to get a better exit out of you. And he has moved up to P2, overtaken Kapil. Now it will, we have to see whether Kapil can get back on Patnaik. We know that Kapil has a much better final sector compared to Patnaik, but Patnaik might say a completely different story now that he is in the free air.
Yep. So let's see what happens.
Right now, apart from this battle, we do see Sidhu, who has gone into the pits, as has Ghosh. Danish, who has pitted and was running P17, is now up and running P13 after a couple of people have done their pit stop. Masoom is right now in P7. Shah, who is currently the person who is running in P1, seems to be just 15 plus 27, so around 33 seconds ahead of Masoom. Not a good news for him, because if he decides to do his pit stop, will end up behind Masoom based on what we know about the pit strategy. As we say that, Kapil sends it on the outside. Sunil Shah keeping it nice and clean. Kapil has to go wide on turn 2, and Patnaik is still up ahead. Did I say Sunil Shah in middle?
It's okay. Our viewers are all intelligent people. They know whom we're talking about.
Yeah, after I said it, I just realized why did I say it. So yeah, apologies for that.
Okay, so I looks like I'll have to probably drop off. But it was good commentating with you. Hopefully, I can see what happens in the race later on. But then, so far, let's hope for some good racing and see what happens. See you guys later.
Yep, thank you for joining me in the commentary box. I will carry on with this race. Right now, Dwajin seems to be 2 seconds behind Masoom. Masoom, who has moved up to P5 after a couple of more people ahead him have pitted ahead of him right now. The 4 drivers who have not pitted are running P1 to P4. So when they are done with their pit stop, Masoom will come up in taking up the race lead for this race. Let's just have a look if there is some other battle there. The field seems to have spaced out because of the pit stops that the drivers have done. Right now, Thakur's she has moved up to P10, but she is yet to do her pit stop. Is running P10 at the moment. Hopefully, after she is done with her pit stop, she will still be in the top 10. Danish, who had to do an early pit stop because of the unfortunate incident by Kumar, is running P11 with his pit stop done. Is lining up a move on Thakur next. P12 is taken up by Sidhu, who is still 3 seconds behind him, and Deepak 6 seconds behind Sidhu. We do see Aditya Kalra getting a stop-go penalty of 30 seconds. Not sure why. Probably he started speeding out of the pit lane before the pit line was over, and that ended up giving him a 30-second stop-go penalty. Not a good news for him. Dwajin has been disqualified from this race. I am not sure what he did. Well, definitely he did not do something that the game wanted him to do, and that's why he has been disqualified from the session. Patnaik, who was running P13 P3 has decided to pit in, P2, my bad, has decided to pit in and has come out P6 behind G Aurora. So he ends up behind G Aurora. So that was an undercut by G Aurora. Even though G Aurora was running around 7 seconds behind Patnaik, he could still catch up. He could still overtake Patnaik after his pit stop. Either that or Patnaik lost a lot of time in the pits. So not a good news for Patnaik. Will definitely look to get back the position, and we all know that he has the pace to get back the position. Up ahead, it seems like Kapil Bharat and Sharma and our P1 current runner Shah has not yet decided to pit. Hopefully they will pit in the next upcoming couple of laps, but Shah is 28 seconds clear as we say that Sharma decides to go into the pits. Kapil Bharat still deciding to continue his voyage and go for a low fuel load towards the end of the session. Let's see where does Sharma come out, because after his unfortunate incident in the beginning of the race has done really well to capitalize on the situation and did move up to P4. Probably he will come out around P10, P11, but let's see where he comes out right now. Masoom seems to be running P3, will go to P1 once both Bharat and Shah do their pit stop. The gap seems to be around 44 seconds between Shah and Masoom. So hopefully, and we do have Thakur who has gone, she has gone off on the exit of turn 7 or turn 8 and has fallen down the back. I will have to look onto the incident, what resulted in this. Was it a contact between two drivers? Let me just have a look. So yep, so she was running all alone coming on the exit of turn 6 and 7. Is this where she loses her car? Nope. I think it is the next lap. Okay, she is all fine while going into P turn 6 and turn 7. Goes a bit wide, still keeps it on track. This is the tricky part where you have to see how much throttle you can give, and I think she just overcooked it and went a bit wide on the gravel and decided not to join unsafely on the track. So a very nice decision from her part, but yeah, she lost 3 positions because of that small mistake that she has done there. But hopefully she will be able to come back on the track, come back through the field. But let's just go on board with the battle. So we do have Shah running P1. Kapil Bharat has decided to pit, and let me just check where he is gonna come out. So it seems like Kapil Bharat has come out in P3. He's just exiting the pits. Just in the back we can see Ghosh, who is on a different lap than Bharat, but Bharat coming out in P3. So definitely Patnaik did not have the fastest pit stop. I think he had some damage which he had to repair into the pits, and which costed him the time in the pits. But right now he has reduced the gap between him and Aurora to 1.3 seconds. Aurora, who was 2.5 seconds ahead of Patnaik, is now only 1.2 seconds. Patnaik is catching to Aurora as the laps are going by, and in the back we see the Ferrari of Akbar Kumar, who did qualify really well, but because of his incidents has fallen down to P16. But it seems like the battle for P4 is on between Aurora and Patnaik. Kapil Bharat is way clear of this battle and does not need to bother about the battle between P4 for P3. Masoom, who is also way clear of Bharat, 22 seconds. Now the only person we are left to see is Shah, who is 44 seconds ahead of Masoom at the moment. We will have to check where he comes out, keeping in mind that only 24 minutes is left in this race. Definitely Shah will not have to fill a lot of fuel if he decides to pit, and that means that his pit stop will be shorter than what the other guys decided to pit in for. So will be exciting to see what happens. Kalra has gone into the pits for serving his stop go penalty of 30 seconds. Thakur has also decided to pit after her unfortunate incident on the exit of turn 8, if I'm not wrong. Kapil Bharat seems to be clear. We do have a battle between Arora and Patnaik. Patnaik already caught up to Arora in the previous lap, and they are going side by side into turn 1. Arora having the inside line, Patnaik trying to go on the outside, but simply not having the best of the lines to capitalize on it. Looking for a bad exit from Arora on turn 3, but in fact runs really wide and did need to lift off a bit. But again, Arora trying to defend for his life, going for the inside line. That just compromised his line for Patnaik. Patnaik hooking onto the inside, but Arora will have the inside line again for the next corner. So Arora trying to place his car the best he can, and all this battle has brought Akbar Kumar into this fight, who is not on the same lap as the guys up ahead. So hopefully it does not impede the... And as I say that, he just taps Arora on the rear and sends him flying. Akbar Kumar has pulled off to the side. He is not happy with his race. Definitely not at all a wise move from him. Even though he was the faster car there, he should have looked for a place to make that move. In fact, he has now compromised the race for Arora and for Patnaik, my bad, who is now 7 seconds behind Arora. So all that effort that Patnaik put in to close on to Arora was just gone off because of a back marker. Sarthak Ray, after qualifying P6 and P7, is after qualifying around P12 or P13, is now in P6, running in that beautiful neon blue livery McLaren there. He is currently 4 seconds clear of Sharma, who is on a charge to Sarthak Ray. We do have Habib and Sindhu also in a battle. 3 seconds separate them. Might reduce this, the gap between these cars might reduce as the laps go by, but right now Tanish, P11, not a really good race for him after starting P5 on his first race here at IRC in the ACC League. But definitely we can see anything in the minutes to come. We do have Masoom still running P2. Shah still 45 seconds clear of Masoom. Seems like he's not losing a lot of time. Tanish decides to pit again, probably not at all happy with his race. He has gone into the pits. He might needed to put some more fuel. He has pulled up to the side. Seems like he will be retiring from the race and leaving the race. Not at all impressed by his performance, but he should not be demoralized because this is just his first race here at IRC.
Good evening, Mr. No More Pro Player.
Oh, we are joined by our very own 8 cylinders. So
yeah, just wanted. I've been watching the race so far, but I was reading through the chat, and we've got some clarification on why Dwajin got disqualified. Apparently, he spun in the pit lane and started reversing, and as a result, he got disqualified from the race. So that was why we don't have Dwajin anymore.
That's really sad, but yeah, well, that's what you get for being naughty. But yeah, pits are especially a very dangerous place where the game will definitely put a higher restriction, and because of which he got disqualified from the race. Unfortunate for him. We did see Tanish as well, who has left the session. Not happy with his performance, but yeah, we will definitely see more of him in the upcoming races. We do have Shah still running 45 seconds clear of Masoom, but a pit stop down on Masoom. So we'll see what where Shah can come out. He will definitely be behind Masoom, but it seems like Shah and Masoom have almost equivalent pace in this race. Going down the back, we do have Ghosh, who was the reason. So Ghosh, who is a back marker, has caught up to Arora. Is on a faster lap times, but definitely he is still a lapped car. We do have Patnaik, who has fallen down. Maybe he had a damage because of that incident, and he is now falling back in the pack, and Sarthak Ray has caught up to this, and you know what, Sharma has also caught up to this battle. So it's now a 3-man train going from P5 to P7. So this will be again exciting to watch. Meanwhile, Sidhu and Habib are also in a battle right now. Sidhu trying to make a move on Habib. Less than 3 tenths separate the two drivers. So let's see what can be done by Sidhu here in this race. Apologies, I cannot keep an eye on the chat since I'm the only lone person in this commentary box today. But yeah,
I'll help you out a bit with that if I can.
Yep, so I have 8 cylinders who will help me out with that. But yeah, definitely Sidhu looking really feisty behind Habib. So 8 cylinders, how has your day been?
My day has been good, thank you for asking. I should point out that someone in the chat has mentioned that Patnaik got a bit of karma. I think that was in relation to, I think it was Akbar Kumar who spun him out as a back marker, or they made contact a couple of laps ago, and then Patnaik obviously was involved in a little battle earlier on in the race between him, Kapil, and I think it was Aurora, who's now running in P4. So a lot of people saying there was a bit of karma involved there. Your thoughts on that?
Maybe, but yeah, we all know that karma is always something that we should consider, but I'm not sure whose mistake it was into turn 1, so we cannot completely say that it was.
I don't think it was anybody's mistake. I think it was more of just the fact that when you have 3 drivers going side by side, I think the driver on the inside and the outside kind of have a little bit of area to maneuver. Whereas the guy in the middle is just kind of like, he's like the sandwich. He's in the middle of the sandwich, so he's getting squeezed from both sides. That doesn't leave him much space to go. He has to put a lot of trust in the drivers around him, and if they don't, obviously, if they're not all in synchronization and they don't all have that alien coordination, then obviously something's bound to go wrong. And that time, I think it was Aurora that came off worse.
Yep, I also believe the same, that basically it was more of a point of 3 cars going into a corner at a speed where 2 cars can't go properly side by side. So at the end of the day, he was just squeezed in the sandwich. So
these 2 Ferraris are getting very racy right now. I just saw Habib getting a questionable exit there out of turn 8, I think it was, and yeah, he's now, what they should do is right on his bumper, and he'll have to get the move done down the main straight now.
The thing about this track is we still don't know if the driver can get the move done, even though he's just 2 tenths behind Habib. But yeah, hoping that he will get the move done, because he is sitting behind Habib for a long time from the past 2 laps, if I'm not wrong. He does go on the outside. Oh my god, my camera angle is gone. Sorry for that, but yeah, he does send it on the outside, but Habib placed his car perfectly for that corner. He does run a bit wide onto the turn 3. That will help again Sidhu to go side by side onto turn 4. Brakes that late. Oh my god, that was a really late braking. And
if he can retain his position, and I think he has, even after braking that late, and I think it was because Habib thought he could capitalize from it and just try to slip in behind him when he should have tried to go side by side, but they're getting the position under questionable circumstances, but he does have the position.
Yep, so we did miss a battle between P5 to P7. So right now it seems like Patnaik has also... So Patnaik, after losing so much time, has again... no, he has not closed up to Aurora, my mistake. But we did miss a battle. Sharma has moved up a position, and I just want to look at the replay, because I think there was something that happened between these 2 cars. So let me just confirm, did something really go down between these 2 cars or not? Okay, so right now he seems to be behind Sarthak Ray in lap 24. Sarthak Ray running really wide, which gave Sharma the position on Sarthak Ray. They still went side by side till Sarthak Ray backed out. Sarthak Ray was trying to go for a shallow line, but Sharma kept it right there on the track. Let's have a look at Sarthak Ray's lap, because it seems like he did some mistake somewhere and fell off a lot, because it seemed like he was being really close to Sharma ahead of him, or maybe he just lost it in terms of being the slower car out of the two. But yeah, okay, it seems like he did not had any incident and he has just fallen off from Sharma, who is on a charge. He is
seems our rookie I think S. Thakur, Suraksha Thakur, has a lot of fans in the chat, a lot of them showing their support for her in today's race. Our rookie for today's race, I believe.
Yep, we did had a couple of more rookies, but yeah, she did not have the best of the race starts, as well as an incident on turn 8 where she lost 3 positions, but after her pit stop is still in running P13, because she has not given up on this race. Meanwhile, the other 7 drivers who are no more in this session have given up on this race after their unfortunate
and I think it's important to note as well that these are 7 drivers with quite a lot of experience, or some of them have quite a lot of experience on this game. So, I mean, credit where credit is due. She is showing very, very steely-eyed determination to keep going in this race, and it'll be rewarded with a nice finish for her, at least.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, she seems to be only 3 seconds behind Aladdin, who is running P11 at the moment. But yeah, as you said, a lot of experienced drivers left the race after their unfortunate incident, but she kept going even though she had a lot of incidents and she ran wide on the track. She was plumb last, but she still carried on. A short message she's sending to our experienced drivers, in a subtle manner.
Watch out, boys! I can punch as well. Is what she's saying. As someone has just pointed out in the chat, that she's a fighter, and I think that's the correct conclusion there. What is the situation up front? I still don't think Sohil Shah has pitted. I think he's still in P1.
Yep.
Yeah, he is still in P1.
He's still in P1 and keeping the gap constant to 44 to 45 seconds from
I feel for Masoom, because he was telling me that he wanted to show off his new livery this race, and unfortunately we aren't getting to witness it here, but we'll do some troubleshooting afterwards and see what's the problem with that. But right now, Kapil Bharat running in P3 seems to have had a fair, well, we can't say uneventful race, because he's been elbows up with pretty much every driver in the top 6. But he's managed to hold his nerve very well, stay clear of all the incidents and drama, apart from that one incident, turn 1. I think he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, right now Patnaik seems to be just 1 second behind Arora again. What did Arora do, or is Patnaik that quick that he is again just within a second of Arora? Is this redemption for Patnaik? Finally, can he make the move on Arora with Sharma as well hunting this back? So it's a 3-car battle again, and Arora will be hoping that this time he is not in the middle of that sandwich into turn 1. We do have the battle becoming more and more spicy as the laps are going by, as we see Patnaik on a charge on Arora. Arora still not having the pace that he would have wanted. Patnaik just flying off in his car, and he's that close on the exit of turn 7 if I am not wrong, and turn 8. It all depends on the exit that he gets. He is getting close to the Aston Martin there, trying to go on the inside where there is just a car's width. I am not sure.
It is very deep. Yep, he's gone very deep there, and this will allow V Sharma to get a brilliant exit. He's made up 2 positions in a single corner. V Sharma, hopefully it's a he, because we do have diversity in IRC now. Has made up 2 positions in the span of a single corner because of the little skirmish there between Patnaik and Arora. Once again, the Aston Martin boys getting a little too close for comfort there. Arora, once again, the negative benefactor from that whole incident, again finding himself at the receiving end of some bad luck when fighting with Patnaik. But Patnaik is now in P5, but more importantly, V Sharma, after being in P6 at the end of that lap, is now shot up to P4. courtesy of the incident between those two.
That is very much true. It seemed like Patnaik got his breaking point right. Arora overshot his breaking point, but I am not sure why Patnaik was not able to stop his car in time, and he also ran wide, which helped Sharma to just take the normal line and just be ahead of this pack, and now he is just flying from this pack. So Patnaik does get the move done on Arora. Hopefully, maybe a late battle as well between these two drivers. But let's have a look up front. It seems like Shah has still not decided to pit. Hopefully he knows that you have to do a mandatory pit stop, else he will get disqualified from this race by our coordinators. He has still 3 or 4 laps to complete his pit stop. Let's just hope that he knows about the rules and someone tells him regarding. And Masoom gets a drive-through because of him running wide on exit of turn 2. We witnessed it.
This will massively compromise his attempts at a podium here, and this will now open up the chance for drivers such as V Sharma Patnaik now to capitalize on this error. That was very uncharacteristic of Masoom, usually incredibly consistent, as Anirudh mentioned a little earlier in the stream. He's got that alien pace on his side. Just pushing a little too hard. I don't really know why, because there's still that element of Sohail Shah's pit stop upcoming. Not really sure why he chose to. Maybe it was just a little bit of a mistake, lapse of concentration, maybe. But that is racing at the end of the day, unpredictable. And now he has a drive to serve, which will massively hamper his chances at a podium.
He will definitely not be happy with this, because this came in with not more than 3 laps to go. If he could have just kept it there in 3 laps, he could be on the first place position at the moment. But now, because of that one simple mistake, running wide on the exit of turn 2 has given him the drive through, which he will have to serve before the end of this race. And probably since a drive through takes around 40 to 45 seconds, will still maybe come out ahead of Sharma, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, definitely not the best of the race for him.
Some of the people in the chat were just talking about how Masoom was going to get an easy P1 today, so they've just massive jinxed Masoom here, and I think that's a jinx of royal proportions.
So if Masoom is angry after his race, he knows whom to blame. It was none of the commentators' curse from our side.
It was Dwajin in the chat from the IRC stream on YouTube after disqualifying. He's spreading his bad juju to other drivers on the grid as well. Masoom serves his drive-through penalty. Sohail Shah now, well, almost a lap and a couple of seconds ahead now of Masoom. He will now get pretty much a free pit stop back into P1. You can't help but feel bad for Masoom. Masoom does, however, come out in P2, so he will still retain his podium place, but he'll feel a little hard done by that he's not standing on the top step of the podium today.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of gap between him and Bharat, and I think the drive-through does not take more than 30 seconds, and he completed his drive-through. Shah has decided to finally do his pit stop, probably after getting to know that the driver who is fighting with has got a drive-through. So let's just do a free pit stop and come out again on the top. Hopefully he won't be putting in a lot of fuel, probably 1 or 2 liters, and should not be stationary for a long time. We will keep an eye. Masoom is still 50 seconds behind, is still going into he's around the lap down, you can say. He is still in lap 3rd or 4th corner right now.
I mean, I will take nothing away from Masoom. He's put in a fantastic. I think it's at the end of his lap. Yes. So I think it's still, if they come out close to each other, that's a possibility. Because I thought Sohail Shah might be spending a little bit more time in the pits, but no, he comes out well clear of Masoom, and assuming he doesn't do anything silly on this outlap, he should take the race win by sub margin.
Yeah, it seemed like Sohail Shah started off with a full tank of fuel and then just decided to pit on the last couple of laps, see how the race goes, and just pit at the end, and which he did, and he's up ahead. We do have a battle between car number 43 and the car behind.
This is once again the two Ferraris. Oh no, that's Quantum behind him in the Mercedes. He's actually had a good race. P12 racing on a controller is a very good result. So I think it's been a good race for him.
Yep, let's just go through the pack and see if there is any close action that we can expect in the last closing minutes. We do have Sohail Shah, who is 30 seconds clear of Masoom, who got an unfortunate drive through in the last lap, and he has still managed to come out P2. Behind him is Kapil Bharat, 9 seconds behind Masoom. P4 is currently run by Sharma, who is 18 seconds behind Kapil Bharat. Patnaik 4.7 seconds behind. Sharma will come in P5 for this race, not having the same pace as Sharma, so Sharma is just pulling off. But Aurora, the biggest loser in this race after his first sandwich incident into turn 1, is now back in P6. Sarthak Ray 4.5 seconds behind Aurora. Great race finish by him as well. Not to mention this is his second or third race in this community here at ACC. So definitely a good finish by him. Even last race, I think he finished P7. So he is being consistent with his race finishes. P8 is taken by Sidhu, who is currently 11 seconds behind Sarthak Ray, and P9 currently taken by Habib, whose car we can see behind the lapped car of Ghosh, who is 4.5 seconds behind. Top 10 is rounded off by Deepak, who seems to be 40 seconds behind Habib, and P11 Aladdin, who is again 21 seconds behind Deepak Raj, and Thakur, she is keeping it consistent, only 7 seconds behind Aladdin. So oh no, she is a lap down on Aladdin as well. Definitely she has not given up, even though considering that she is 2 laps down. The one thing that you can do from these league races is learn and come back stronger in the next race. The only way to learn is to keep driving on these tracks, on these cars. So definitely a good show from her.
Also, I think Sohail Shah is coming through the final couple of corners here now. I wouldn't say he's been in complete control. Briefly, there was a period in which he was behind Masoom, but after Masoom's initial pit stop, he did inherit the race lead, and he has stayed there since then. I think is this the last lap, or
yeah,
I think
this is the last.
All right. Well, it'll give me a little bit more time to sing praises about him. He's kept it fairly clean. It's been fairly uneventful for him, you could say, because right from the beginning, he's had a chance to just pull away from the rest of the field. I think it never really was a major contention between any other drivers. I think it was between Shah and Masoom for the race win. I think you could have said Kapil was there in with a chance as well, but Kapil being involved with those two Aston Martin drivers lost a bit of time there to them, and potentially throwing away a chance to fight for the win. But Kapil, I think, does move up to P2 in the drivers' standings after this race if he finishes on the podium, which will be good for him and for the Boatley team in the Constructors' Championship. But yeah, I think it's been a good race from the front runners. Masoom will feel a little hard done by his drive-through penalty, and the newbies, the rookies this time around, have done fantastically as well. I think Spain is a good platform to prove yourself, because you could say it's I wouldn't say it's a fairly simple track, but it's definitely less challenging than Bathurst, let's say.
Yeah, that is very much true. Kapil will be really happy because of his driver championship standings, because now he will be around 15 points ahead of Anirudh, but Anirudh is coming back in the next race. So if somehow Anirudh manages to score more than 15 points, be 15 points more than Kapil, then definitely the battle can still go.
Aurora has just picked up a drive-through penalty. Stop and go penalty, 30 seconds. Stop and go penalty for Aurora here, which will be very, very unfortunate, because is there a chance of him? I do apologize. Sohail Shah has finished in P1, but and Masoom will finish in P2. But Aurora's 30-second stop-go penalty, if he doesn't serve that, it'll translate to I think it's 85 seconds unserved. So that'll massively hamper his chances of a top 10 finish after getting so unlucky during the race as well. Maybe this is such. Yep.
I think he just left the session in frustration of that stop-go penalty. I don't see him in the session anymore.
Well, if that's the case, then we should have a couple of other drivers just sneaking into the. I think Aladdin might sneak into the top 10 because of that. Yep, as you can see there, Aladdin has crossed the line in P10, which means that Suraksha Thakur will move up into P12
Yes.
after that, I think.
Yes, because I think Deepak finished P11, if I'm not wrong, and after he finished, oh no, never mind, Deepak finished P9. So I think she finished P11 itself. Did two drivers leave the session? I might be completely wrong, but the coordinators will definitely confirm it for us later on as we move on to others, as we wait for others driver to cross the line. But yeah.
Great race by Habib as well. Kept it very, very consistent. Had a good battle with Sidhu as well, who's just finished ahead of him. But he won't feel too hard done by that after coming back to ACC after a long time out of league racing. That's a good result for him. P8 in the race today.
This is the final position finish that we have. Shah followed by Masoom, Bharat, then Sharma, then Patnaik, then Ray, then Sidhu, then Habib, then Arora, who got a stop-go penalty of 30 seconds. So probably later on his 30 seconds would be added to his time and he might fall down the pack. But Deepak finishes P10, P11 by Aladdin, Ghosh finishes P12 and Thakur with a brilliant finish of P13. Below Thakur, everyone else, all the experienced drivers, Kalra, Tanish, Akbar Kumar, Reddy, Electrip, Tumala, and again Kalra. I am not sure why I am seeing two Kalras, but all those drivers had an unfortunate incident and decided to quit the race. But yeah, definitely a great race that we got to see today here with 20 drivers on the grid, 13 of whom cross the finish line, and we will head over to the podium interviews, get our drivers into the podium. Let me just close the game because the video comes in.
Do let us know in the chat who your driver of the day is for today after watching today's race.
Yeah, for sure.
Quite a few contenders there, I think. Quite a few contenders. Going to be a hard choice.
Yeah, definitely. We do have Kapil in the session, so you can you start off with the interview while I get others into the commentary box?
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, Kapil. How are you doing?
Doing great. Lovely dinner followed by a lovely race. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, you must be on cloud 9 right now.
Yeah.
Well, we can't ask for everything, can we? I think a podium is a good result for you considering the hard-fought battles that you had. What's your thoughts on the race?
Oh man, I just absolutely loved that wheel-to-wheel battle with Patnaik. So crisp, so clean, just on point every single time. Like we knew where the other car was going to be. Though we may not have had complete control over our own car, we had the sixth sense of not endangering the other driver. So you must have seen it on stream. We were dancing around like a bunch of June bugs. It was really, really fun, this battle. So in many ways, when he pitted, I knew that was the end of the race, but I wish he hadn't because it was really, really lovely.
So just a confirmation, is Shah stinky?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah, you can carry on.
That's kind of rude, PP. You can't call a man stinky. What's up with that? Come on.
Nah, well, he decided to call himself stinky, so...
well, yeah, that's true. Anyways, Kapil, one more thing which I noticed during the race, I was watching the race before joining in the commentary box. I did notice that you were carrying a lot more pace through Sector 3 compared to Sector 1 and 2. Is there any real reason behind that, or was it just that there was other factors involved?
I mean, I'm intrigued to find out or compare whose data you're comparing with mine, because I felt like I was slow all 3 sectors, so I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, being slow in all three sectors doesn't get you on the podium, so.
I mean,
So
I didn't get myself on the podium. Others were like, let him have it. He wants it so bad, just give it to him. That's the ending.
you're
Thing I
saying
get
you had a
about it.
Moses parting the Red Seas moment during this
So
race.
that's also, yeah, it definitely felt like that.
Anyways, great race from you, man. This also moves you up to P2 in the drivers' chat standings, if I'm not wrong. So, yeah, good points for the team Boatley in the constructors as well. So, great job
This
from you,
one's for
man.
you, Casey.
Anyways, we don't seem to have Masoom yet in the commentary, in the podium interview here, but we do have our race winner, Sohail Shah. Are you there, sir?
I'm here. How are you?
I'm doing good. Fairly routine race then.
Not really. I mean, I didn't expect Masoom to be so quick because we did a couple of mock races yesterday, and we both were very similarly paced. I was looking to a good battle on track. But he just bits qualifying and he was so quick through the first stint. And I don't know why he decided to pit early, but I had a very different strategy to what everybody has been doing. I went literally 100 liters of fuel from the start of the race, and because we were in the evening times during the race, I had very high tire pressure. So in the start, I was going to be really slow. But as the track temperature started to come down, it came down by like, I think, what, 5 degrees by the end of it. So as it came down, I just got quicker and quicker, and I was just consistent throughout one single pace throughout the stint.
We were all hoping, not only in the commentary box but also on the stream, that there would be a very closely fought battle between you and Masoom in the end, in the last stages. But unfortunately, due to Masoom's drive through, that didn't happen. But what was your thought process behind choosing to go on a long first stint and then pitting very late? Last 2-3 laps is when you decided to pit in the end.
Yeah, so when I decided that, I actually had this thought saying that everybody is pitting for about what 60 liters of fuel, which is 15 seconds in the stop. So if I manage to stay within 10 seconds of Massimo in the first stint or throughout till the time I pit, then I can gain that time back because I'm putting literally the minimum 5 liters, which is about 4.5 seconds in the pits. And if I manage to get the pit entry and exit just perfect and get the stop in the perfect positioning, which I did, I would be coming out really close to him or ahead of him. So if it worked out properly, then it would have been really good. But unfortunate for Mason to get that drive through. I mean, it's a shame for us to not have a battle. I was really looking forward to it. Like every lap, I would look at the gap the moment he turned up on my MFD. I would look at the gap every lap and see, oh shit, he's quicker. I need to go quicker.
Yeah, I think it would have been close because we finished 28 seconds and I lost, I think, 25 seconds plus a 3 second from a mistake that got drive through. So I think we would have come like right next to each other when we exited the pits.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think I came out about 31 seconds, and then I was still unsure on the fuel because it said I was low on fuel. So I started massive fuel saving. I think I went 1.5 2 seconds off the last lap just to make sure I finished the race properly and with enough fuel.
Yeah.
How embarrassing would it have been if you just pulled up alongside in the second sector and just let Masoom through after selling a drive-through? It would have been an eventful one for us in the commentary box. But yeah, overall, well-controlled race from you, Sohail. You are our race winner for today.
Thank
Congratulations. We do have unlucky benefactor in P2. Masoom has joined us in the podium interview. Apart from the drive-through, what are your thoughts on the race?
In the first stint, I saw that I pulled a 7 second gaps, and I was coming out of traffic. So I was like, if I box, I decided to do a gamble that I thought if I box, I would come into less traffic, which was the right decision. I only met like I think 4 cars in total. I think Stingy met a lot more cars on the way, if I'm not wrong. So in terms of like traffic, I think that was the right decision. But what happened was that like after the second stop, I had like absolutely no pace. So I don't know why that happened. So that's something I have to look through. But yeah, definitely like I think 2 strategies that had like very similar results would have been really nice if I didn't get the drive through.
I feel like not only me, because I wasn't here in the commentary box for the first half of the race. I think a lot of people in the chat were a little bit confused because suddenly we saw you quite far back, and Masoom, you weren't popping up in the timing tree in the top 10 drivers, so a lot of people thought that you had left the race. But I think it's quickly clarified that you were at P11, and the other commentators basically concluded that pit window would pretty much bring you out close to each other. So I think apart from the drive-through, how did the drive-through come about, by the way? Track limits?
So I got 2 track limits like in the beginning of the race, which I have no clue why I got it, because one of them was like a ghost track limit. I looked through my like I didn't even know why I got it. I got it in sector 3, where it's like in the tight section at the beginning, where it's really impossible to cut because it's gravel on the other side. But then the final track limit I got at turn 2 actually, because I lost the car and I kind of like went on the grass and it gave me an instant drive through. Track limit warning. I don't know exactly what happened there.
Well, unlucky, man. But you did finish P2 in the end, so it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out well for you anyway.
Yeah.
I think the Banshu, do you have any other questions for our podium sitters?
Nope, you pretty much covered it for me, and I'm definitely, my throat is gone because of speaking so much. But yeah, that was a really exciting race to watch and commentate on, and a great drive from all our 3 podium finishers. It was a very good race today here at Barcelona. We did see a lot of action and a lot of resilience from a couple of drivers. That's it from me, as well as 8 cylinders, as well as Anirudh, who was there in the starting phase with me in commentary. But that's all from us here at IRC at Barcelona. Do join us on Saturday at 8:45 or 9 p.m. for our tier 1 race. We are at the Spa circuit this week, and we will have our tier 1 boys race around it, followed by tier 2 and tier 3 races on the Sunday. So do tune in for those. But that's it from me. No more pro player, and 8 cylinder signing off for today's stream. Thank you for watching, and have a nice night.